Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kaz from Journeying Soul Therapy, and today I'm joined by three wonderful guests. I have Shannon from Wise Healer, I have Ian from Reiki Zen, and I have Michael from Grand Awakenings.
Hello, guys.
Do you all just want to do a little introduction of yourselves, and then we'll have our chat?
Yeah,
Shannon,
yeah.
do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm Shannon, currently living in Australia, and I'm an SCHH and QHHT practitioner, and just currently studying naturopathy. And that's what I do. My website is wisehealer.love, and my YouTube channel is Wise Healer.
You having to think about that one?
Yeah. Wise Healer, quantum hypnosis, and naturopathy. Yeah.
There we go.
The tongue twister.
Yeah.
I'll put everyone's details in the description anyway, so it's all good. Ian.
Cool. Yeah, hi, I'm Ian, and I'm a Reiki master in the UK, in the northeast of England, and I focus on Reiki and meditation and readings as well to try and allow people to find their flow and find their balance in life.
Michael.
Awesome. All right, so if it looks a bit strange because my laptop's broke, so I'm having to look into a different screen. So I am looking at you all. But my name's Michael. I've met these lovely people through wonderful synchronicities and circumstances, through many groups, and so I've got my own little group, spiritual healers group, that I created just sort of during the pandemic, just trying to find people with similar experiences, you know, trying to find support networks, people that thought like me, you know, throughout the world, which was interesting, and managed to find these guys, so that's pretty cool. Eventually, yeah. So I'm just a normal guy with a few little skills, just trying to make my way through this crazy journey that we're on. So that's me, basically, in a nutshell.
Awesome.
Crazy, amazing journey.
Yeah.
Crazy, amazing.
Crazy
How
and
has
amazing.
everyone been? How have you all been the past few weeks? Good?
Yeah, good.
Good. Yeah.
Pretty mental, to be honest. It's just it seems like there's like an acceleration of just events and little changes. There's been some nice moments. I've had some really one of my main aspects of, I suppose, one of my biggest challenges and biggest fights was being like kind of like getting to a point where I can communicate effectively with my family and stuff, you know, like, because we've all got different beliefs and stuff like that, so it's been quite difficult, but I managed to sort of, my family this week, I managed to sort of turn around a little bit, or at least the seeds that I've laid are now starting to sort of starting to grow, and I can see the actual results now of the inner work that I've been doing. So that's been amazing. So that's been a bit of good news. Yeah. What about you guys?
Awesome.
Anything interesting happened to you this week?
Not for me, particularly. I have been noticing just lots of timelines moving very quickly. I don't know if you've all noticed that thing, and I think maybe that ties in with what's been happening to you, Michael. Just everything's happening so fast, and all these timelines are just playing out so super quick.
I think everything just seems more positive. I think I can definitely feel a shift around in my reality and like my experience, and I don't know if that's just the inner work that I've done is now being reflected more in the physical. Like, I've had a lot of challenges this year, especially with like I said before, with on the last interviews about challenges with health, stuff like that, and I've kind of worked it out now how to I think just manage things like health better, and just focusing on, I've been practicing imagination a lot more, like Neville Goddard techniques this week, and it's been really working. Like, if I've wanted to manifest something, I've been literally living in that reality for like a couple of hours, all right, and then it's been happening. and it's been happening really quick. So it's been really, really cool. So I've been learning a few little techniques. Like I said, I've been learning techniques with like a little pendulum, which has been
Oh,
really
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
So that's been really, really good. So just getting in touch with spirit, asking it questions, etc. I'll show you that later. So I've been practicing that, and yeah, just trying to get into this, really, like get into the kind of flow of. I think I really want to do this, like talk live and stuff like that, but I need to. I've got so many things going on in terms of like got court hearings with employment, like grievance against employment, and to do with my housing, and just trying to fight these issues at the moment, because it's like a system. The whole world is, even though things are changing in the reality, the system's like falling apart, isn't it? Like you can just see it every day. You can see the problems people are having. So one thing would be, oh no, everything's falling apart, etc., etc. Another thing is to say that everything has to fall apart, or things have to be highlighted on a grand scale, in order to for people to see it for what it truly is, and then to implement change, because it can't carry on the way it is. I mean, I'm a capable person, and this year, threatened with homelessness, things with my jobs, it's made me really sick. So it's like this is happening worldwide, so it is an issue, and hopefully,
Definitely.
things will change. The God reset will happen, sooner rather than later, hopefully. What
I
about you
think, yeah,
guys?
I think the more we unplug from whatever we're in, plugged into it, we're going to see more of the collapse.
Yeah.
What do you
Exactly.
reckon, Shannon?
Well, I think, Michael, your example is a perfect example of, I had this thought about, in our hypnosis sessions a lot, when we go into the future of what the future looks like, a lot of people are living closer to nature in these different communities. And I think with people like yourself who are aware of what's going on kind of in the world and what's happening, who are not brainwashed, I think, it's maybe that's part of how we're going to get there, is that it's forcing people like yourself. And I know here in Australia, there's a massive homeless situation going on. There's families just can't get rentals. They're homeless. Most of the caravan parks are just full of people who can't get rentals, and the rent has skyrocketed. We've been renting this house just while we look for real estate or whatever for almost a year now. And, now the same place, when I look online, of the price is gone up by like a couple $100 a week. It's crazy for the same place. And I don't know how people can, there's single moms and people working long hours and still can't get a job. They can afford the rent, but they can't, get a rental, not a job, sorry, a rental. And I wonder if we're going to be forced into, like, these things that are happening are going to gradually force people to live in communities and help each other out a bit more, and look closer to nature for living in that. So
Especially for like
eventually.
mental health and well-being, like connecting with nature. I mean, like even like this morning. So like last night I had a late night, right? And then so this morning I woke up, and then good things to improve your energy, like have a cold shower. I had a little Himalayan salt shower and stuff like that in the morning. Go out, do a bit of breath work, go for a walk in the morning, meditate. I have a little meditative walk in the morning, and then that sets me up for the day, really. So like things like that. I think the knowledge of like mental health and mindfulness and stuff like that will be more of a universal practice, rather than this sort of pharmaceutical nightmare that we're in. And these companies will eventually be shown for what they are. Because we know you can, like we said before, if we can create our own disease, we can fix our own disease. So that's what will hopefully be taught to the masses, on a grand scale at some point. And the housing issue is just a joke. I mean, the courts it's everything, because I've been to the courts, the judge, like the courts there are just to rob you of your money. You know, they're not really there to help you really, because I went to court and we went through all this paperwork, cut down a tree, for them to, you know, like dismiss it based on some silly little thing that didn't match a form, even though they had the correct form. So they're just trying to make money off of you. I don't really care too much about justice and stuff, and it's my trigger is justice. So like now I feel like everything that's happened to me has happened for a reason. It's to share the knowledge of what's happened, because all the support networks that I went through, they literally, they're undertrained, understaffed, and they tell you the wrong information. So that is having a massive effect worldwide, because all these companies and the governments care about is reporting and stuff like that. So people are generally not getting helped, and I'm a capable person, and I honestly, what I had to go through just to get a house over the last year, I've been, like I said, I've been threatened with violence and stuff just because they wanted to put the rent up. So yeah, I kind of feel like we've all got our own little jobs, haven't we? I think the bad experiences that we have, so-called bad experiences, that's generally preparing us for something greater, I think, you know. Like, I think we're all aware of that, and I think we've all had that.
Mm.
Yeah,
What's
that's
your-
a positive way to look at it. Absolutely.
What
What's
do you
your
think,
take?
Kaz?
Well, I was just going to ask Ian because he hadn't said anything for a bit.
I'm just sat here listening. I'm just taking it all in. But yeah, it's very much all about healing, isn't it? Every aspect of it is all about healing, and the way you look at things and the way you can deal with it yourself is also part of your healing journey. Because if you look at everything in a negative doom and gloom aspect, then it's not going to have a positive effect. And I've been thinking about this for a while now. But you know, people like, you know, you get all these people like David Icke and Andrew Tate and all these people that are coming out speaking and saying a lot of stuff. And although that yeah, they're putting these opinions and voices out there, but I also think that they're kind of feeding it as well. And
I think that.
because the way that they talk about it is that they put almost like a message of anger and hostility out there, and that creates, for me personally, what I feel is it creates more anger and hostility in other people. So is that a vibration that they're there in? Are they within that sect of things to try and create that element to make people feel angry and upset and frustrated, to make them react, to create yet another divide within people?
I think they served a purpose for me early on, but now I just don't focus on that anymore. I've realized
I seem to have just felt like I've gone past that, and there's a lot of stuff now that I just can't watch. I can't look at because
doesn't match. Yeah, don't match your frequency anymore.
No,
that's all.
it just doesn't
Exactly.
fit. But there are a lot of people which are getting stuck. They're getting stuck in that way of thinking, and it's understanding that you need to either understand what it's doing and the purpose that it's playing, but then also get past that as well to the next step, which a lot of these people that are out there speaking and saying all this stuff, I think they're holding people back from getting further on their journey, from healing.
They might just be. There's a lot of people that like to say, "Oh, he's an agent, that's an agent, everyone's an agent," but realistically, a lot of it's about awareness. So a lot of these people, I mean, Ike looks like an alien anyway, but he might actually be here to help people. He might not. His awareness might only be that, like, even though he's revealed lots of truths, like you say, a lot of it's a bit negative focus. I like the stuff. I mean, the stuff he says about frequency and vibration, because I used to think, how can he get away with it? It taught me. I thought, because his frequency and vibration's higher, so he's not touched. I kind of feel like you're untouchable the higher your frequency and vibration is, and all of the noise and distraction is just to get you into the dense frequencies and vibrations, the lower densities. So when you raise yourself above that, you're not really affected by it as such. Like to the point where you don't even see people that are aggressive or annoying. Like my situation, my family, they're less aggressive and less annoying to a certain degree. You know, like they're more of a communication. It's more reflecting, I suppose, the inner work that I'm doing. I just kind of feel like everything's the reflection of your inner work, really. I don't know how it works in terms of how all our realities are connected, but we're all like separate entities in our own reality, and we connect somehow. There's like, you know, it's kind of weird how it all works, because literally what I've been practicing is putting your attention and focus on, you know, what you want and your desires and bringing that forward, and that does work. But in terms of the global thing, and in terms of like the whole, all of us together, I mean, it's like, well, it's one great big story and loads of individual stories in amongst it all.
Yeah,
Oh, we've got a
absolutely.
collective timeline, haven't we, and our individual timelines. What
Yeah.
do you think of all that, Shannon?
I was just thinking about timelines, that today was our first day of summer here in our first real day of summer here in Queensland, right? Because it's been unusually cold here this year. And the entire time I've lived in Australia, it's never been this cold this time of year. Normally it's in the 30s or whatever, stinking hot, basically. And so today was like 32. And speaking of timelines, like you guys being on the other side of the pond, today was my first day of that I experienced summer with my family in 2 years, because since 2020, I haven't had a day of summer, because we've been back and forth from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere, but always in winter. So we went through a summer here, you know, and then it got winter. Then at the end of winter, we went to Canada last year, and then it was right before winter there, and then we came back right before winter here. And so this is like the first day of summer my children and I have had since in 2 years.
Celebrate it then.
What did you do? Oh, what did you do?
It was
sit in the
it
sun?
was hot. I went in the sun, but I mean, it's always sunny here. That's why it's called the sunny coast or whatever, where we live.
That's a bit of a clue, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was so hot. I wasn't used to the heat, because I was just like winter, 3 winters, and back to summer. So when you mentioned timelines, it reminded me of that. Yeah.
Even weather's weird, isn't it? Like, think of like, this is one little discovery of, or a conversation I had a while back, of you, like, say living in London, right? So we all live, like, say like the ones that live in London or live near to London, we're all close, and we all have like different weather and stuff. Or like someone might have it be pouring with rain, and then someone else is sunny, and you're relatively close, and it's kind of a bit weird, really. We might not even be living in the same time. I think we change our timelines and stuff frequently throughout the day. Like, I think it's just about your vibration as such. I think, so like, for example, like, one thing I kind of worked out, or this might just be a load of nonsense, but it's just a muse of mine. It's like, for example, if someone that I know rings me up and they're all aggressive and stuff, then they're in like a previous timeline or something, or an old timeline. But or say like my mum rings me up and she's all positive and lovely and stuff, then it's like in a new positive timeline sort of thing. And we kind of switch in between. I think even myself sometimes, I think if I don't, it's like I know what I need to do, but we all still do the things that we know we shouldn't as well at times. And it's quite difficult sometimes. I found, and sometimes that feels like switching timelines, because we're thinking back to how we used to think occasionally, or whatever. But
Yeah,
who knows how it really works?
Yeah, I've been watching a few videos recently on quantum jumping, and how they've proven this as a scientific fact, that it's something that we do all the time. And I was watching this video earlier of this lady saying that she'd lost some, and this happens to me too. Something goes missing in the house, and what she does is she walks through a doorway and imagines herself walking into the reality where she'll find that thing. And I've never tried it, but next time something goes missing in my house, I'm going to use the doorway as a portal and just imagine that reality where that thing is and just walk right into it.
That's what you.
I
That's,
think
You know what?
you can
can
play
do that.
you can play the game.
You know, when you have a shower, I've been told that's. I think I go into a new every time I have a because every morning when if I wake up and tired, no matter what I've done, what time I've gone to bed, I'll go and have a shower. I'll have a warm shower, but then I'll have like Himalayan salt, and I'll put it over the top of my head and stuff, let it soak in, and I'll like a ritual with my body as well. Like I'll thank my body because you got to like thank your physical body as well. I feel like for the work that it does because it's carrying us around basically, like carrying our true spirit around. And so you have to like give thanks. So the more you give thanks to like your body, massage yourself, stuff like that. So I do that in the shower, and then I put myself in a positive timeline. So when I come out of my shower, I'm in a new timeline. I'm in a positive timeline because of my. It's like creating a portal as such, and I think that's what these things are really. I think even doors and stuff you can try and use as portals. Like it's just what you put your imagination. I think our imaginations are so powerful that we can actually just do anything. Our thoughts just create our reality. So whatever you're putting your attention to throughout the day, that it all adds up, doesn't it? So
Thoughts and intentions. Yeah. What were you going to say on that, Shannon?
I was just going to say, like on a daily basis, I walk into the walk-in pantry and I forget what I've gone in there for, you know.
Maybe
Like
that's
daily.
why. Maybe that's actually why.
If I ever lose anything, I always just ask for it to like be brought to me, or for me to be told or shown where it is. If I ever lose anything, and then either that day or the next day, it will just be there and I will just find it again. It'll just turn up and it'll be in a place that I've probably already checked. And I'm just, well, why didn't I see that before? Why wasn't it there? And it's weird how these things sort of work. I don't know if it's to get people more tuned into that idea of being able to connect to that element and that frequency and being able to speak out and speak to the universe to bring it, to attract it, to bring it into your awareness. Maybe it's all just about your awareness. Maybe it was actually there in the first place, but you weren't aware, and then you've asked for it, and then you become aware because you've actually gone back to it with a change of intention, a change of frequency, and it's actually there in front of you. And you just said, well, I came into this room, I looked in that cupboard, I looked in that drawer, whatever, it wasn't there, but now it is. But then a lot of people are like, I'm going batty, you know, but no, it's teaching us something, isn't it?
Yeah.
100%.
I wanted to talk. Sorry, go Shannon.
No, you go.
No, because I was gonna change it to Mandela effect type things. So if you want to add something on the end of what we were talking about.
Okay, yeah, well, this will probably lead into that anyway. But lately I have dreams, and in my dreams I'm in North America, and my heart is in both places, North America and here in Australia. And it just got me thinking the other day that, with parallel lifetimes that we talk about in our hypnosis sessions, I'm going to bed at night here in Australia, and then I'm having a dream that I'm doing things that most of my dreams are me doing things in North America, not here. And it just got me thinking, like, am I going to bed at night and then like I'm sleeping here, and then I'm living this parallel life in North America while I'm sleeping here, and vice versa? Like, who knows, right? In this crazy matrix.
Yeah. Well, there's probably lots of timelines that we're on that you can flip in between. So maybe there's a version of you there in another timeline doing. What is it you're working on? Do you know?
Well, a couple nights ago, I had a dream that Elon Musk asked me out on a date.
Wow.
Oh, your
and
standards are low.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I was like, mate, I don't give two shits about your money. Like, I'll go out on a date. I'll go out for dinner with you, but to find out who you really are, are you a white hat? Are you a black hat? Like, what's the deal? And then I've had dreams, had a dream a year and a bit ago with just people like out there, uh, yeah, just different people and different things. So yeah, anyway.
If you ever have a dream about me and we're doing something, let me know what we're doing.
Yeah, I will.
Depends what you're doing. But
Yeah.
I had a weird dream when when I was predicted that when the Queen was going to die this year. I know it's a bit morbid, but there was just something that popped up. I was decoding, and I was like, right, the Queen is probably going to die this year, on TV anyway, and then lo and behold, around May, the Queen was in my dream. Right, and this is where my awareness, I think this is a reflection of me at the time being not scared, but I don't know, worried about, the other team. And the Queen was actually chasing me down a council estate, but she was so slow. And I think this is when she died. I'm not even joking. I think she visited in my dream around the time that she actually died, because it's weird. And she was chasing me, and in my dream, I was thinking, why am I even hiding from her? She's like some little old woman. And then afterwards she died, and it was just really weird and bizarre.
So
our
funny.
dreams definitely coincide in our reality. I mean, 100%. Because when we go to sleep, apparently we're going off and doing the work and going, I've got this problem, I've got to sort this out. What do I do? I think our spirit just goes back because it's always awake potentially, and then. We've just got constant amnesia, haven't we, to a certain degree? But but we're aware of certain information that we store, and then we get our guidance, our subconscious guidance, I suppose, when we go in our dream world back to our other reality.
Yeah, I do wonder if, because our soul obviously doesn't need the rest, it's just our bodies. What are we doing? I think sometimes that I just stick like a recording in my head. So I think I'm dreaming, but it's just some sort of like playing a video to your sleeping body, and I'm off doing some weird and wonderful things that I have no idea about. What are your take on dreams? Ian, what do you think about dreams?
I was just going to say quickly that the other person was JFK Jr. That's who it was. I couldn't remember.
You had a dream about him.
You got it.
It was like a year and a bit ago, and he came in my dream, and he was like, "No, I'm still alive." And yeah. So.
Oh, did he say that? What else did he say? That's quite interesting.
Just that he just appeared and said everything's gonna be fine, and yes, I am still alive, and I am who you think I am, and yes, and basically that was about it. Yeah, but
JFK's all right. He's okay then.
Well, that's what he told me in the dream. It was like quite a while ago now. Yeah, a year and a bit ago. But yeah, who knows? Sorry, Ian. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Because about a week ago, for some reason I started thinking about Hitler, and I don't know why. And I actually saw Hitler in my mind's eye, and I thought, well, what's this all about? Why am I seeing Hitler? And I know there's a lot of weird stuff going on around in the world. And then for about a week after that, I kept hearing or seeing things relating to the Second World War. And I was thinking there's some sort of message that's wanting to come through with regards to this. And then for a couple of nights, I did have some really random dreams. And the most recent that I can remember was probably about 2 nights ago. And I think I was in communication or speaking to some sort of alien, or I don't really know, but he had sort of like a almost like, when you blow a bubble like out of a little hoop thing, and they've got that sort of like that sheen, that sort of oily clear sort of sheen, and he had this sort of like sheen about him that just looked like that, and he was kind of like, he wasn't see-through, but he was quite translucent, and he had this like really weird hairdo, like this blonde shock of hair that was like just swept back. and he had this huge black hat on, and he kept pointing to like his sleeve, and he kept pointing to this symbol on his sleeve, and I couldn't make out what the symbol was on his sleeve. And it was the next day I was thinking, I wonder if that was something to do with like the war stuff that's been coming through. But he also, like this black hat, he also had this huge black hat, like a I don't know, it was like a really wide brimmed sort of black hat, and it blew off, and that's how I saw this hair. And I said to him, "Oh, your hat's blown off," and he was like, "It doesn't matter. I didn't like it anyway." And then I woke up, and I was just like, "What is that all about?" So dreams are just like
Messages.
really, they are messages, but there is something going on behind the scenes. There is a level of healing and level of your soul journey that's going on there as well. And there's things that are coming through the various timelines and the various frequencies and realities I think that we live in, and this truth is coming into our reality, and we're kind of almost like a colander or a sieve, I suppose, and this information is going through us, and we remember what we need to remember. But also the frequency, the things that we don't remember, I think your soul or is aware of what it is, and it's taking in that information as a level of healing. So yeah, dreams are just like, they can be like really weird and really, really quite out there and unhinged, and sometimes they can be quite dark, and you think, well, what is that all about? And they can wake you up and be quite scared. And then other times they can be like really, really funny or really, really high vibed. But it's almost like being in dream state is almost like it's the same as being in life. You know, there can be so many realities that we have to go through the physical world, but we also have to experience it in the spiritual world in dream state.
Mm.
Yeah, because we.
Do you set the intention, anyone, before you go to sleep, that you'll only have nice dreams? Or
Do you know what? I don't actually do that.
No.
But that's actually quite a good thing, I think, to practice, because everything really really, when you set the intention, that's what you really create. So like if you go into meditation, you set the intention. If I, like I say, in the morning to do my practices, I set the intention that I'm going to be energized. You know, I am energized, I am balanced, I am focused, I'm always you know, resolving any issue with ease. So you're setting those intentions. So yeah, I reckon that could work. I think that's quite a good idea.
I tried to do that
yeah.
with the Akashic, because it was at a point where I was thinking about wanting to try and connect with the Akashic, and someone said, I think it was my Akashic reader said, "Oh, you can ask for when you go into dream state," and they just said, "Just ask for it." So I asked, but nothing seemed to happen unless I was unaware of it.
What if they're
Mm.
different realities? What if it's like, if we could ask that, but what if they're just different realities that we're living in that we kind of remember? Because it's obviously meant to be this information and messages. Otherwise, we wouldn't remember what if it wasn't useful and it was just garbage. And I don't think we'd experience it. I think everything's a lesson, isn't it? So the dreams, you know, I've been told that it is a kind of a reflection of the work you're doing. So I suppose I was told certain dreams, if like for example, what I was saying about the Queen, someone told me. So I have people who can dissect dreams, you know, like and they understand it. So I was told that was I was scared about authority or something, or I had authority coming after me. So
Mm.
I think things are a reflection of you as well in your dreams, but
Mhm.
it's so complex, isn't it? I mean,
Well, I wake up some mornings and I feel like I've been fighting, and like my back is bruised and achy, and I'm like, where have I been? What have I been doing?
You're a shield maiden. So off
Yeah,
somewhere, I think, Kaz.
I do
definitely.
feel like I have been in battle, though. It's really sore. And
Wow.
this is where I thought maybe I just stick a recording in my head and go off in battle that I'm not allowed to know about. I'm not allowed to know what I'm doing. And then I come back and it feels like the dream is just like a video for me to watch while I'm
Oh, like
like,
to keep you occupied, kind of
keep
thing.
me
Yeah,
occupied while
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing
like
other
watching a
things.
video. Yeah,
Mm.
like I kind of try to. I think a close thing to link it to, like something that you can compare it to is like a Total Recall. I don't know if you've ever seen the film or read the book, Philip K. Dick, and
Mm.
that is in itself. He literally, it plays out this movie where he's this hero and he's gone to save the planet and everything, and then it's basically he's just been strapped into this machine or computer the whole time, you know,
Mm.
because it
There's a lot,
really.
there's a lot of messages like that in TV and films as well, though, isn't there? There's a lot of stuff that we watch where, you know, The Matrix is a prime example where they're hooked up to a machine and their reality, what they think is actually going on is there, but they're actually, and it's the same in, because we've been watching or rewatching Marvel's Agents of Shield, and there's a part where eventually they get sort of captured by a robot, and they're all in a sequence, in a computer sequence, and they're all hooked up to a sequence. And then you see things that are coming into our reality with the likes of Elon Musk wanting to do Neuralink and transplanting things into the brain. And you think, whoa, it's like, and again, they've been telling us this stuff all along. And it's just like, yeah, crazy stuff.
There's this battle between nature and technology kind of thing. I kind of feel like we should incorporate both. I don't really trust Elon. I know apparently I hear that he's basically just creating AI so that we have robots basically doing all the jobs, which I kind of, there's a part of me which thinks that is the right way to go, because it's like realistically, all these jobs, we're not really meant to be working. We're meant to be focusing on self-healing, following our passions, not working jobs which are draining. In my life, I've experienced it, I've been shown that that if I don't follow my passions, I'm going to be unhappy, basically. So now I can start following my passions, because I know that your thoughts attract what you want. So if I'm here imagining my reality is doing my passions and stuff, then eventually that will be brought to me. I had a, you know, where I was sick, I couldn't really manifest as much, but my manifestations now are becoming more stronger, where I'm healthy, well. So yeah, I kind of feel like a lot of good things are coming for a lot of us in a collective space. Whereas I think this is a really crazy time where it's a collective thing, a collective change. Whereas that maybe this is the first time it's happened in, you know, in our since we've lived anyway. You know, maybe for many years, because they say like as a global reset anyway, however many years. But this is like a massive. Feels like this is a big reset, especially with, you know, what's been going on with pandemic and stuff like that. That just feels like it's a big reset for everyone, to be fair.
Yeah, but in a lots of positive ways.
In a positive way, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Shannon? Sorry.
I was just going to ask you, Kaz, if you wanted to move on to the Mandela effect. I mean, we're talking about
Oh yeah,
and it all sort of has to do with the
well, it's so
Mandela effect
interesting
too,
because I'd been talking to you and Ian about this Mandela effect, and then I think wherever you put your focus, you get more and more of it. And I don't want it to be a distraction for me, but it's been popping up more in my life generally. The Mandela effects, it's really strange, small things. And I guess it all ties into this timeline jumping or quantum jumping or moving through realities. What are you guys' take on the Mandela?
love Mandela effects. I mean, have you had any this year, Kaz, you personally?
Yeah, but just really small things, like the title of a song is different, or the title of a book and a movie is different. Silly things, nothing major.
Can I ask if you're all in agreement with this, right? What does he say in Forrest Gump, the line about the box of chocolates?
Yeah, I know this one.
What in your
Oh,
head?
life is like a box of chocolates. You just don't know what you're going to get.
Right, Shannon,
you never know what you're going to get.
So you agreed with what Ian just said, exact word and everything, right?
I know he doesn't say that.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
He
Everyone.
Says, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get or something. Yeah, can't remember.
It's like it's a chain. It's like that's what everyone thinks, but he doesn't say that, and everyone knows that's what he said. So it's like that there's hundreds, isn't there? I mean,
There's
obviously
hundreds, yeah. Like the movie
Interview with the
one?
Vampire.
Well, there's that, yeah, but there was another one like the movie Casablanca, I think it is, where he says play it again, Sam.
oh yeah.
He never says that. And how
Oh, what does he
concerned
say? What does he say?
he just says play it again.
There's so and even like the Monopoly man as well. Like he had a cane or something, or he had a monocle.
Monocle.
Monocle. That's it. Thank you.
Mm.
You know, like all crazy things. So it's definitely happening because everyone's like, hang on a minute, this is not right. Like, how can that be possible? You know, like, but that again is, I think, just to show us how it's just clues, isn't it? Our whole reality is screaming at us clues every day, and we just have to be open to it. Most people, and it's like one thing I wanted to touch on today was about synchronicities. I think we was just like I only follow my synchronicities. I only follow my experience. I don't follow people on Telegram or YouTube. I'll pick out the best bits from everyone, but I generally go with my experience and what's happening in my physical reality, who I'm meeting in my physical reality. You know, we're getting we all get our synchronicities for our numbers, you know, like the world's run through numbers as well. Because every time I'm thinking a thought about something and I'm trying to figure something out, it will then be synchronized by a number. All right. So like we've seen loads of times recently, Kaz, haven't we, in the groups? We had yesterday, it was like, I don't know, there was about 6 or 7 11s in about an hour. Right. So it just that's when spirit is communicating with you, showing you you're all right. Go on, you're on the right path. You're doing it. You're doing well, and then you just have to tap into that and just keep doing what you're doing and follow the signs. You know. So it's weird because I got taught this in movies. There was a film called Signs. Do you remember the one with Mel Gibson? And it's about aliens and crop circles and stuff.
Yeah. So,
And I watched that with my aunt and my cousin and stuff, and we always used to, and there used to be sight, because what I do is like when my awareness grows, I go back in time to previous memories of like I even have thought. I'll go like I'll think like something that I had a different awareness that I thought about many years ago, and I can go back to it now and go, oh, that was that. That was trying to show me that. That was trying to help me understand synchronicities and signs and through a movie, you know. So not everything's bad. Everyone will go, "Oh, movies are bad. This and that's bad." But if nothing's bad, like everything's good and bad, and you just pick out what's good and what benefits you, and you leave the bad. You know, you just transmute it.
yeah.
Ian and Shannon, what do you think of synchronicities and Mandela effects?
I had a client who wanted to know about the Mandela effect in a hypnosis session a little while ago. And so when we asked about what the Mandela effect was in the session, they explained that these groups, these dark groups of people who are basically kind of like running the world and governments and things like that, have the ability to change the timelines and create these new timelines. And apparently they have been doing it a lot, like they're just constantly doing it, and it's just shifting our realities constantly. But what came out was that it's artificial, like they're doing this artificially. It's not natural, and the creator, it's not what the creator has intended. And so what came out was that there's nothing that any of us can do to basically, it's going to just self-destruct basically, and that the creator would basically destroy all these artificial timelines that have been created by the darkness and these dark people, these different groups of people who have been doing this because they're artificial and not how the creator intended. So basically they're going against creator in trying to change the timelines, and as a result they're just going to end up self-destructing because they're not natural. You have, this artificial world, and then you have the natural world. And when you go against nature and the creator, you know, it must self-destruct at some point. But yeah, so that's what came out in the session when we asked about the Mandela effect. So whether you know, they're all theories, aren't they? Everything we don't really know about is the theory until it's, you know, part of our reality, or unless we experience it or whatever. So yeah, what about you, Ian?
Well, I was just going to say, from what Michael was on about there, fundamentally, it all comes down to your awareness, doesn't it? It's just a total level of awareness. And the more you become aware, the more things like what you were saying, Michael, about how aspects of your childhood or memories and things will surface and come up, and as we sort of see them and release them and realize what the message was back then to where you are now, it's just another level of healing, all just down to your awareness. And what we're all doing as healers is allowing people to increase their level of awareness. Fundamentally, that's what it's all about. You're tapping into everyone's awareness, because as soon as you're aware of a situation, or you're aware of a pain, or you're aware of a problem, you can heal it with the power of your own mind.
What a blessing that is as well. What an actual blessing. Like, we can just literally choose what we want with our words, our thoughts, our energies. And because we had to go through, as humans, we do this weird thing where we have to go and experience our dislikes. So we have to go through all our dislikes to know that we don't like it, we don't want it. And I kind of feel like that's what's happening. I feel like we're correcting a lot of mistakes maybe made in past lives or past simulations, or whatever you want to call this. And everything is, so like the healing is a constant. It's an internal, I feel like it's an eternal process, however time works, because time's not real. It's just a construct for us to learn, basically. And like you say, it's just raising our awareness. So we are just here laying seeds that will grow, you know, throughout the world. And it's an important role, but it's how we do it as well. The most important thing is leading by example, and just because it's all, like I said before, it's the many perspectives makes the whole in this reality. So I've got my truth, Kaz has got her truth, Shannon's got her truth, you've got your truth, and then you combine them all, right, and then you get the whole. So that's why we can't be like, oh, this is the truth, or Ian's truth is the truth. It's just, this is my truth, this is my truth. Oh, what are the things that you do benefit you? Because you should only do things that benefit you. If it's not working in your life, if a religion's not working, or a belief system's not working, or practices are not working, you know, like if you're sitting there meditating every day, but your life's not any better, then you've got to change it. You've got to do something different, because we're all different. We've all got different, unique abilities, skills. So you have to go by what's unique. What's unique in your reality? What skill set have you got? You know, what are your passions? What do you love doing? And then you follow that. So that's why it's just everyone's got their own soul blueprint for themselves, and you just got to follow, you know, your internal guidance system, which is your heart, daily, and all actions through the heart. And you can't really go wrong, really, because your inner voice is telling you the answers to everything once you silence and get rid of all the distraction. That's what meditation is.
Well, I think we all just need to come from a place of love, really, and not get pulled into all the drama and the anger and the fear. I think that's what we're here to do.
Massively important point, that is, Kaz.
Yeah. And that's, I think, a lot of the reason why a lot of us aren't into watching a lot of other people anymore, is because, you know, people do those things because they're looking for the answers from an outside source. But then once you get past that, you start to look for the answers within yourself. And then I think we're at a point where it's more about creation now, and creating the future and the life that we want from now on. So very good point. Yeah.
Yay. Does anyone want to say anything else about that? We'll end on a nice positive note. Ian?
Oh,
No,
Ian?
go on. No, Ian.
that's
Ian.
me thrown in. Well, I've just done a video actually yesterday on that about finding peace and discovering peace and happiness, and I've just put that up on my channel yesterday. And you know, part of the journey and also incorporating aspects of my own personal journey in there as well, of where I've come from through all the struggles and dealing with who I am and trying to come to terms with who I am and incorporating that into a life to then discover a spiritual path which has helped me flourish in so many different ways and discovered so many different people, and it's exactly the same as what you say. You know, a spiritual path might not be for everybody, but finding a path that works for you, that makes you feel good, that makes you feel at peace with yourself, and once you're at peace with yourself, happiness will follow. But it's on having that awareness of what peace is within yourself to allow happiness to follow. If you don't have the awareness, then you're living kind of a bit of a lie, because you're just feeling what you think is in happy for that short span of time that you may have purchased this or got that or brought this into your life to try and achieve happiness. But the happiness fundamentally comes from a level of peace, which comes from your awareness.
Beautiful.
100%. I learned something. What do you think about, one quick one, about desiring stuff? Because one thing I've been practicing manifestation is when you don't really desire everything and you already feel like you've already got it all anyway, you know, like when you put emphasis on, I know if you put your attention to something, you can manifest it, but what about, I heard a thing about desire being the root of all suffering. So like if you're constantly desiring this thing, that creates suffering. What do you think about that? Do you think that's something?
The only thing I really desire are more plants in my house. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, I definitely don't desire a new car or anything. We have the same car we've had for like 12 years. I'm not into any of that.
Yeah.
What do you guys reckon?
Same. Yeah, I just want a simple life, and I've always just wanted a simple life. I'm the same. I don't care what car I drive or anything like that. Yeah, I just want to be happy and just have a simple life. Yeah.
That's why you guys are always happy. Because you've already figured it out.
It's balance of
Do you
ego,
guys
isn't it?
know? Yeah, do you guys know Yvette Shepherd? She's a soul center healing hypnosis practitioner as well. So she has Ankh healing. She just wrote a book called The Power of Three, and there's a part in her book that talks about creation basically, and how if you're confused about what you want, then that's confusing the universe as well. You're sending out confusion. So you know, going back, one of the first steps is just figuring out what your goals are and what you want, and just being clear about that. And that was a good reminder for myself, because I have I've had a bit of confusion in my life lately. Like, do I want to live here? Or do I want to live there? Or do I want to be here? Where do I want to be? And settle with my family and those sort of things. And so reading that part of her book, I thought, yeah, that's exactly what I need to do. I need to go back and just think about exactly what I would like for my life. And then once you know, and if you're not sending out confusing signals to the universe, then the universe can respond to that once you're more clear about what it is that you would like. Yeah.
Oh, I learned this beautiful phrase recently, just asking the universe, how good can it get?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I like your
that.
phrase.
Yeah.
It's not mine, it's someone else's.
Oh, I
So
like
just
you
every
told me
day,
about it.
how good can it get? Like,
Yeah.
show me.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. So good.
And yeah, you think you have to just match that frequency, what your thoughts are, what you're saying out loud to the universe, what you're asking for, make it clear.
Absolutely.
That's why everything is a distraction, is because if you're just living in your imagination and you're blissfully, it's not about being happy 24/7. That's the trap, because you can't be happy 24/7.
Yeah.
But it's about being blissful, is what I had a discussion with my friend. It's about being blissful. I'm blissful 24/7. I'm not always happy because I've got this going on, that things that I'm not exactly enjoying, but I know it's a lesson and it's helping me. But yeah, it's just raising your frequency and your vibration so high. That's why all of the craziness going on in the world, and what obviously going back to your point, Kaz, it's all a distraction. It's all to get you into that low vibration frequency. When you're focused on wars, you're focused on people dying, you're focused on people being sick, things like that, and it puts you in a negative state of being. So we know we all live forever. All right, we're eternal. We know that we've chose to come here. We know that it's all by our own, if not our design, a higher, the highest self has created this for us, and we're living through it to learn lessons, to grow our awareness and our subconscious, to raise our level of awareness. So we can live with peace now in that fact, and just focus on what our passions are. Not our dislikes or what the fear mongering's being spread, because a lot of the spiritual groups, a lot of fear mongering's being spread, and we know that we're trying to lead people away from that now.
Just shift your focus. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. How should we end this, Ian? If you've got any final?
Well, I was just going to say, Kaz, talking about your passions, I love that piece of art that's right behind you with the black and the yellow
I put
and the
that
orange.
up for our chat
It's awesome.
I put that up for our chat.
It's really lovely colours, so contrasting, so bright.
Yeah,
So
I just love colour.
I agree.
I love your drawings. I've only seen the ones on your videos, but I'd like to see them all.
Yeah.
Of what? My paintings.
Yeah. Yeah, they're awesome.
I'm really looking forward to listening to your art chat.
Yeah,
Kaz,
which we're gonna do now. So
I'm gonna do that next.
Oh, is that what you got lined up?
Yeah.
Yay! I look forward to seeing that.
So it was just lovely seeing you all. Thank you for joining me. And
thank you.
I'll put everyone's details in the video link. I'm sure everyone else will do the same on their channels. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Be well, everyone.